This time, I did Buddhist brothers, sisters mainly come from Singapore and Malaysia, and also some Indonesian, and some from Hong Kong. So mainly the Chinese Buddhist. And also, most of you, of course, speak English. So firstly, I want to ask, is those people who understand English? Raise hand. So, everybody. Santa Teride Zo and the Chidich Dijasorve, and the Zoro Didi, and the Geri Chedo. Any Inching is that Chatua. Jazanga the Injigator to Timna some temporary. That's one. And on the Pavazo, then on the Pagana, Juya, Rava, Juazirva, to share. So, so this is one opportunity to practice my broken English. So you give me this opportunity. Thank you. Then I understand, you see, among the audience, majority are Buddhist, and then also some Christians, some Hindus, one Muslim, I was told, then some non-believers. So that kind of sort of audience, I love that. You see, nearly 7 billion human beings. There are a variety of people. So my main concern is entire nearly 7 billion human beings' well-being. As a Buddhist practitioner, every day we pray for benefit or happiness for entire sentient being. And other sentient being in some other sort of planet, we have no direct contact. But here, in this planet, we have comparatively some connection there. So each person's future depends on the well-being of the over 6 billion human beings. If the rest of the human being happy, peace, less trouble, then we, individual, everybody, get the immense benefit. So even selfish viewpoint, your own interest, very much related with the rest of the humanity, rest of the world, isn't it? So wherever I go, wherever I talk, first level, I consider myself as one of the 6 billion human beings. Entire nearly 7 billion human beings, physically same human being, mentally same human mind, emotionally also same human emotion, isn't it? And most important, everyone wants peaceful life, happy life. Nobody wants trouble. So everybody have every right to achieve happy life. Now the question is, usually you see people, you see, in order to achieve happy life, we have to say, making also the importance of material value. So it looks our happiness come from material values. Of course, material values are very useful. We need that. But material facility alone will not create inner peace. I think you also have already, I think, some experience. More successful life, more money, maybe greed increasing. with that, jealousy also increasing, suspicion also increasing. So material alone, material value alone, sometimes create more anxiety, more stress, more worry. So ultimate source of happy life is our inner value. So therefore, irrespective of whether believer or non-believer, whether believe religion or not, we should pay more attention about our inner value. Now scientists, according to latest scientific findings, it now sort of clear that even good health or healthy body, the healthy mind is very essential. More peaceful mind brings healthy body, because mind calm, peaceful, then our healthy, our body sort of element also, you see, then remain more balanced. So that brings healthy body. And too much stress, too much worry, disturb our body element. That creates certain sort of problems about this body. So therefore, calm mind is very essential. Basic our mental attitude, calm. And then even some disturbances, you see, come and will not remain longer. Come, go, come and go. Like immune system, our body immune system, strong. And some virus, some germs come and may not disturb much. It's a basic physical condition, weak. Then small virus create a lot of disturbances, a lot of sort of problems for health. Like that, mentally also, basic mental attitude, calm, peaceful. And then disturbances so, may not much disturb. So therefore, the calm mind, peaceful mind, is very essential. So I am very happy talking or sharing with you how to develop calm mind. We are not talking about, on that level, as fundamental human level, we are not talking about next life, or not talking heaven, or hell. We are not talking about these things. Simply how to achieve happy life, happy society, happy family. And through that way, a happy world. That's our goal. And the material development is concerned, yes, last, I think more than 2 centuries, I think the science, with help of science and technology, is a material development, much developed and further developing. That's good. Now, another field, how to bring calm mind through training of mind. That, I think, so far we are neglected. So worthwhile to explore that field. So then, as a Buddhist, I am a Buddhist monk. So here, the majority are Buddhist, and mainly they follow of the Chinese Buddhist tradition. So historically, Buddhism from India reached mainland China Then after, then Buddhism reached Tibet, I think at least 300-400 years after that. So therefore, you are senior student of Buddha. We are junior. So logically, junior student must respect senior student. And I often see teasing a senior student. As far as knowledge is concerned, junior students' knowledge not bad. I think in Tibetan tradition, there is real rigorous study about Buddha Dharma. Usually, in order to become scholar, it took 20, 30 years for study. Very rigorous. And also the method for study, also through debate, dialectical sort of debate. So that very helpful to get precise meaning. Of course, my own sort of knowledge compared to these top scholars among Tibetan, of Tibetan, of course, my knowledge is very limited. Even in my own case, I think at least 13 years I study, and those root texts I learn by heart, and then get commentary, or explanation according to these different commentary. Mainly those writing wrote by Nalanda master, like Longsu Pusa, as top master of Nalanda tradition. Like that. So I think now after 51 years meeting or having the opportunity meeting with a variety of people, and including Buddhist brothers, sisters from different Buddhist country, and having sort of discussion, sharing each other sort of experience, knowledge, and it became quite clear that Tibetan knowledge is quite good, because rigorous study. And also in Tibetan tradition, the emphasis about logic very much there. So whereas in Pali tradition and Chinese tradition seems, I think, less logics, like dignak. I don't know this Chinese word. Dignak kasure. Dignak. Dignak and Dharmakirti. These two Nalanda masters, really top logician. And then also the person who who introduced Buddhism in Tibet, I think 8th century and in the beginning of 19th century, the Shantarakshita. He himself, great philosopher and a great logician. So therefore, I think in Tibetan tradition, they very much emphasize importance of study and through logical way, sort of debate like that, as I mentioned earlier, like that. So in any way, I'm very happy. You see, again, once more, you see, talk or share. Mainly, it's a Buddhist, Buddhist tradition, like that. Sanje yonten same yo, sheye, ti. Naba meba same yo, namda yon la yo. Now, while you are enjoying tea, I will explain. I think I'm going to get the explanation. Now, obviously, the experience about pains and pleasure, joyfulness, or these things are mental element. Not like, of course, the chemical reaction also, in some extent, chemical reaction also there, like external plants of these things. Too much heat, it's some reaction. Too cold, some reaction. But we believe no experience of feeling. We, not only human being, but also the other sort of beings who have the, what do you call, cognitive, Sheba, cognitive. You see, with that, the experience also there. In the experience of feeling, the positive feeling, negative feeling. Of course, positive and negative means those things which by nature we want is positive. Those things we do not want is negative. So, the comfortable feeling we want. The uncomfortable feeling we do not want. There's no need reason to prove that. By experience, we already have that feeling. First of all, we all have this sense of I. And with that, the sense of experience, or sense of the experience, I want a happy life. I do not want suffering. That feeling there. So, now these experiencing, although some extent physically, but main sort of experiencer, right, is mind. So, as I mentioned earlier, now for example, physical level, those people who have, all the facility there, the physical level, very happy, very comfortable. But mental level, there are people, even you see billionaire, as far as material facility is concerned, plenty. But mentally, very unhappy. Among some my friend, very rich, but as a person, very unhappy person, I notice. So physical comfort failed to bring inner peace, very clear. So obviously there are two kinds of satisfaction. One for mainly related with sensorial level, one mainly mental level. Now for example, two patients, same sort of pain, but one on the top of physical pain, it's more worry, more anxiety in mentally. So that person more suffer, more suffering. Another one, physical level, same level of pain, but mentally, because you see, the way of thinking, see, the attitude towards the pain itself, or that pain developed because of his or her own sort of certain sort of action. that action for certain goal. And then maybe that person physically, same pain, but mentally feel satisfied. Isn't it? So there's clearly, you see, the two things. Some experience mainly on mental level, some experience mainly physical level. Clear, two things. Now between these two, which is more forceful, more sort of stay, more serious? Mental things are more serious. Reason, as just I mentioned, physically very painful, experiencing some pain, but because of the mental attitude, you see, that person may not feel much about the physical pain. Physical pain can subdue by mental attitude. Mental pain, too much anxiety, sort of too much worry, the physical comfort cannot subdue that. That's very clear. So mental level experience are more serious than physical level experience. Then, and then also now, I think up to now, among the science, and in science, is a belief mind is just some kind of reaction of the brain, neurons on these things. So some kind of energy come from brain like that. Now, as a result of my sort of meeting or discussion with scientists, now there's some indication now. I think usually half joke, I'm telling you, see, people, as a result of our sort of discussion with scientists, certain area in brain, when we experience some sort of pain, that same area, when we develop some kind of anxiety about some suffering of other people or other sentient being, so some kind of mental sort of uncomfortable, you see, feel one particular area. The same area, when we develop worry or pain on oneself, also the same the sort of indication in brain level, physical level, same area. This is the scientist, brain specialist, they say like that. So now this shows mental level, big differences. One, some kind of sort of too much concern about others' well-being. Another, concern about one's own sort of suffering. So mental level, big differences. There's some kind of sort of sense of burden, I don't know, sense of, this is Sutra. Rangi Roche, or sense of sort of burden or something, a little bit uncomfortable, or that, change along the way. Some kind of mental sort of pain, out of sense of concern of others' well-being. There, in reality, there's much self-confidence. And then voluntarily take others' well-being and sense of concern of others' well-being. So mental level, actually much positive, much strong. The other one, just because your own sort of trouble, your own problem, and some kind of sort of desperate feeling there, there, the really feeling of desperate, hopeless, and some kind of very, I don't know, the feeling of very weak oneself. So, mental level, big differences. But the physical response, physical level response, now same area, brain. So, I teach some, when we touch such sort of topic has come, then I teach scientists, if that is the case, then our brain is so foolish, no ability to distinction. What's the real causes of mental level, emotional level? Okay. So with that, I usually make joke. When we tear come, there are variety. Over joyfulness, very happy, sometimes tear come, isn't it? Other case, you see, too much laughing. Again, you see sometimes tear come. Then, too much pain, worry, tear come. So emotional level, big differences. One overjoys, full of sort of happiness or joyfulness. Another, more or less neutral, maybe amused, right? Amusing. The third one, very much worry, very much pain. So emotional level, big differences. But physical reaction, same, isn't it? So we cannot sort of make distinction on the level of the appearance of tear coming, isn't it? One, too much happiness, tear come. One, too much worry, tear, too much pain, tear come. So if our eye organ, quite sort of, what's it, quite intelligent one, then when tear come due to overjoyfulness, then tear must come from right eye. And too much pain, too much worry, then tear must come here. Then I have some ability to make distinction, isn't it? Positive tear, negative tear, isn't it? So this shows physical level, not something like, I think, the broad, rough sort of reaction. Mental level, very subtle. So therefore, difficult try to explain or try to understand mind world through just neuron activities. I think difficult. Very recent one discussion with some top scientist, an American, the professor of Wisconsin University, Richard Davison. We just did a casual talk. I asked the speed of brain sort of moving, very, very subtle level, very, very fast. Then I asked whether, you see, the fastness of brain neuron change, brain cell, and fastness of lighting. He say light much more faster than brain sort of the speed of movement of the brain. So mental movement, almost like light, very fast. So now gradually, among the scientists, begin to feel the mind is something. Of course, the mind, from the Buddhist viewpoint, there are many different levels of mind. Grosser level of mind very much based on brain, neuron. More subtler, more independent, more autonomy, like that. So now the scientific sort of research now begin to feel that there could be separate phenomena we call mind that control brain. So actually now, as a result of experiment, they found through training of mind actually change our brain. Previously, such things are impossible. People believe, scientists believe impossible, because mind is just a reaction from the brain. Now, there are research reach deeper, deeper. So sheer mental attitude change. The brain activity is also changing. Or I can't remember the name, but certain plasticity, or some very small things are actually increasing, like that, some change. So therefore, now among the scientists, now more and more research work about, you see, using mind and bring physical health, and also bring to concentration power for student, for study. Those students whose mind always scattered, through training, is a mind focusing a little longer. So these things now happening. And some American scientists, I know some of them, they already carry as an experiment sort of project. Some people say 20, 30, carry some few weeks sort of training of mind. Before carrying that sort of session or that sort of training, they tested blood pressure, amount of stress, and then after a few weeks training, 1 hour, like that, after a few weeks, again they check differences. Blood pressure lower, stress also reduced, like that. So then these are the scientific sort of findings, importance of our mind. Then, as I mentioned earlier, now calm mind is key factor. I think 2 things. One, for less disturbance at mental level or even physical level, calm mind is, as I briefly mentioned before, very important. And then another thing, since human beings' brain, we have tremendous sort of potential to increase knowledge. Human intelligence is something very remarkable. So in order to function our intelligence properly, calm mind, very important. If mind disturbed, the mind with some sort of disturbance there, then through that, because on that level, you cannot investigate thoroughly. Any investigation must carry very much objective way. So in order to carry objectively investigation, your mind must be very calm, neutral. So mind dominated by hatred, anger or too much attachment or too much pride like that, then your mind already disturbed. Then with that level, you can't see the reality. One of my friend, one American scientist about the human mental problem. I met one occasion in Stockholm, in Sweden. I think a few years ago. When I met him, he's already his age 80, beyond 80, very old, very experienced. He told me, when we develop anger, then the object which you feel angry, that object appears very negative. But actually, he found 90% of that negativeness is actually mental projection, not reality. So this is exactly the Nagarjuna text or Buddhist text is exactly mentioned that. So like that, too much attachment, the object which we develop attachment looks very nice, positive. Again, in reality, much portion of the positiveness is mental projection, like that. So through that way, you can't see the reality. Without seeing the reality, without knowing the reality, then your approach, whether you see the thing which we do not want, try to get rid of, or something positive which we want, our method should be realistic method. In order to carry realistic method, we must have fuller knowledge about the reality. So in order to know the reality, investigation is the only method to know the reality. So when the method to know the reality, that's investigation, when that method carry, our mind must be calm, neutral. So two fields. One, more sort of kasota, more happy mind, need the happy mindness, because happy mind's basis is calm mind. And then I think satisfaction or happiness, joyfulness, there are also two levels. Basically, among emotion, there are two kinds of emotion. One emotion, spontaneous. Most cases, due to these, the wrong emotion, destructive emotion. Some sort of, now for example, someone you don't like, so you take some sort of action to beat that person, to defeat that. So for the moment, you feel some satisfaction. But that satisfaction, that kind of satisfaction is more or less spontaneous. And the anger also spontaneous. Then loving kindness, sense of concern of well-being of other. These not spontaneously come, but through reasoning, through training, you can develop. So immense sort of strong emotion, which is a sense of concern of others' well-being. You can develop that. These emotions come through training. So these emotions are based on valid reason. Other emotion, not based on valid reason, but spontaneous. So generally, we can say those emotions which based on reasons is positive. those emotions which come spontaneous without sort of profound sort of basis, these are usually destructive. If you further investigate on the basis of your own experience, you will get better knowledge like that. So therefore, now in order to develop positive emotion, human intelligence is a very crucial factor because it needs reasoning. Other animals cannot do that. Only human being can do. So spontaneous sort of emotion, other animals also there. Anger, hatred, sexual desire, with that some kind of love. These are other animals also have the same experience. But we have this special brain, intelligence, the brain oka. Intelligent brain there. So, you see, I think only human being can develop these positive emotion which based on valid reason, like that. So that's the broad, broad picture, like that. Firstly, mind is so crucial. Experience on mental level is so crucial. And mind, more or less, basically, fundamentally, more or less, autonomy from the brain, like that. So we can train mind through familiarization. And also, you see, the reasoning. Then another, I think, important factor, our basic human sort of body nature. We come from our mother. And then, moreover, after we're born, the next few years, we are really helpless. So our survival entirely depends on someone else's care. And also, our case, and also some animal, our survival depends on mother's milk. Even birds, in their next few weeks, their survival entirely depends on the mother's care, mother's feeding. So because of the physical sort of nature like that, the physical level sort of caring of other is very necessary. In order to carry that sort of effort, there must be emotional sort of feeling. So that is affection. Affection brings that kind of tireless effort from mother's side. Clear? Although the child comes from combination of father and mother, but affection from mother side more stronger. Look, dogs, birds. Some birds, father equally carry the responsibility to feeding the chicks. But like dog, their father enjoy, then disappear. So therefore, the mother really take full care about their youngster. That's a nature, not come from religion, not come from constitution or rule of law, simply biological sort of rule. Logical, rules is biological factor. Biological sort of factor like that. Oh, I have one sort of story. I think some already knows. One time, the flight from, I think, Tokyo to America, quite long sort of flight, a night flight. I usually travel business class. Economy class, cheaper, but long flight, little difficult. Too much just crowd like that. Sometimes even some strange smile also, because strange smell also sometimes happen. So I usually go business class. So in the class, among the passenger, one couple, not old, quite I think 30s like that. I think late 20s or early 30s like that. So they have 2 children. One, quite I think, say 5, 6 years old. One, quite small, very small. So they, at the beginning, of course, the elder boy is at the beginning, of course, running here and there and shouting. Okay, that's better. But then, late night, the young one crying, often crying. Then at the beginning, father also, you see, taking care. No. Then, about midnight, father just asleep. Don't care. Doesn't care. Looks like that. The mother whole night taking care that the younger one. And next morning, I noticed her eye become red. My own case, my mother, very, very kind. So I think my mother's kindness, I think, a little bit spoiled me. So at that time, as usual, you see, the child is carried by mother, isn't it? Mother's shoulder, like that. So I sit mother's shoulder and hold my mother's 2 ear. When I want to go this side, I do this. When go this, if mother not listen, then I cry. Sometimes go like that. So I a little bit aggressive. Oh, I think bully my mother like that. So in any way, the mother really, you see, because they take immense sort of care of their youngster. These are biological factors. Of course, some mother not like that. One occasion in America, you see, after my talk, some question answer, and one question writing on paper, you see, mentioned, my mother so bad for me, so how can I develop sort of respect or genuine sort of affection to my mother? Such questions. I a little bit surprised. Of course, it happened among the millions of sort of parents. Some cases different, but average, okay, generally speaking, like that. So therefore, biological factor, we survived by others' affection. So any person who receives maximum affection at the time of you really need, that experience really much sort of experience in deep of blood. So that also create the ability to show other affection, to others. So therefore, I always telling people, or sharing other people, the basic human nature is more gentleness, more compassionate, because our lives start that way. And at the time of death, both sides, the dying person and the remaining his or her sort of relatives, both sides knows now no longer it's remain together. But however, still the dying person still feel much happier if that person is surrounded by affectionate friends. He or she already know, now no longer any sort of use your friend, but still emotionally, because your life starts that way. So at that moment also, you see, that dying person receives some smile, some affection, some sort of touching hand like that, much happier. So that experience we received at the time of our sort of few years at the time, right, at the beginning of our life, that really creates potential to show. I mean, that experience, whole life, you see, remain. The problem is, when we getting older or grown up, say beyond 15 or 20 like that, then you get the feeling of independence. Then I think our basic sort of the positive emotions, they no longer further develop, no longer any sort of nurturing. The negative side, I think here, the intelligence alone sometimes bring suspicion, hatred, anger, jealousy, extreme competitive feeling. These further grow. And then the positive side, which we potentially we already have, these kasa sarmadus kasa.
Ripen.
No, not. Kasa. Tusta kasa kasa. Tus pugin tum debesuchi.
Encapsulated. Encapsulated.
Oh, okay. Oh, not further develop, just remain like that. No. The other side is further develop. Then the aggressiveness, dormant, such as
Latent.
or dormant. These positive thing, dormant. The negative thing, with intelligence, further develop, like that. So then we become more aggressive. So kindness, aggressiveness, then not well balanced. I think that's, we humanity, I think we can see those remote village or remote area, people work together, share each other, more trust, less suspicion, less competitive feeling. Their basic human nature still more alive. They're like a big city, too much competition, and then greed. You see, these, then they further sort of, further increase these negative emotions, like that. So that's our common experience. We all come from our mother, with mother's milk, and with our mother, father, and some other our friends, sort of maximum care, we survived. So our life started that way. Then, using our common sense, any family where more affection there, much more happier. Family, no matter how rich, how wealthy, but their relations between parents and also parents and children's relations are not warm sort of relation, but little suspicion or jealousy, such family, no real happiness, or what say they, not happy, happy family. So, if we use objectively, look our neighbors and community, I think generally speaking, a Tibetan community, generally speaking, of course very bad Tibetans also there, but generally speaking, quite peaceful, quite compassionate. Even if some tourists from mainland China, more open-minded, these people also notice a Tibetan community, Tibetan area, more peaceful, more honest, more truthful, because more compassionate sort of society. Like that. Oh, how many people who visit Tibet? Oh, right. So like that. So therefore, I think three reasons. First, the basic our nature more compassionate, because we born, grown up that way. Second, use our common sense. Look, humanity, human sort of society, human community, the compassion is very essential. Then third, most important, scientific finding. So therefore, using these three things, then you can develop conviction, the importance of compassion or affection. More compassionate heart here, more self-confidence come. And firstly, I think more compassionate heart there, no ill feeling towards other. That's the basis of truthfulness, honest, transparent. With that, you get more self-confidence. More self-confidence, less fear. So, less deep inside sense of insecurity. So that brings inner strength. Inner strength brings inner calmness. So, inner calmness then bring our intelligent, normal function of our intelligence, like that. So therefore, and then also, you see, everybody, I think they want peaceful life. Family level, community level, national level, international level. Everybody want peaceful, peace. But peace will not come from, declaration or something from outside. Peace must come through within, through inner peace. Firstly, people, particularly leaders, including religious leaders, they themselves should create inner peace. Inner peace not through blind faith, but through human intelligence. That inner peace is very stable. Just inner peace through faith, without a reason. Sometimes it may work, sometimes it may not. Sometimes even becoming more destructive way. So, intelligence, using common sense, these are very, very essential. So therefore, the inner peace is something, whether believe religion or not, inner peace, everybody needs that. If we human being becoming more reasonable, more, compassionate, and I think environment issue also, I think, also there's some positive impact. Then billions or limitless sort of different sort of species of mammals, including fish, and small sort of today, or what do you call seafood. I think human being becoming more compassionate, more sense of concern of others' well-being. And then a lot of animals also, I think, face less disturbances. Like that. Poultry, beef farm, fishery, piggery. I think we, because of our greed, sometimes we don't care about other sort of feeling, animals' feeling. We simply, you see, consider these are like a vegetable. In this area, when I first came in 60, 가서 so right see, from here to Pathankot or Jammu airport, you see, no sort of what's the not much chicken. Nowadays, in the name of development, I think almost every small sort of what's the day, kasa, saka, restaurant, some chickens in her city, the cage, like that. During summer, even like that. During winter, again like that. Really helpless. One time, that is the first of my experience was, I think in late 60, my first visit to Japan. In a part of my tour, one farm, chicken in box. I was told 200,000 chicken. They say mainly egg, for egg. Then I asked, after the period of sort of giving egg, and what happened? Okay. And I saw that, it really very sad. So in our settlement, in Tibetan settlement in India, at the beginning, some part of their program, some the organization who are helping us in their program, including poultry and fishery, piggery. Then I asked this concerned people, concerned Tibetan, if you really need, for economy reasons, you really need, then I cannot I cannot say. But if not that necessary, then please don't open such things. So now our settlement, no poultry, no piggery, no fishery, like that. So when we you see heard this, like the disease, cow disease or pig disease, firstly we created all this problem, and then also slaughter, massive slaughter, like that. So if we human being becoming more reasonable, more, I think more reasonable, I think much sort of positive effect on global issue, because of the global warming and some other things like that. So we really, I think, worthwhile make effort to promote human affection, human compassion, for selfish reason. Long run is minimum because of the benefit to one individual. So present sort of condition, like global warming, a really serious matter. And now flood in Pakistan and some Latin America also, and on China, and including Ladakh recently, these many experts say because of global warming, because of some of our activities, we human beings also made certain contribution for this global warming, like that. Of course, basically, thousands of years, you see, things are changing. The position of the whole planet changing, like that. And anyway, so here, whether believer or non-believer, whether Buddhist or whether Muslim, whether Christian, whether Hindu, we are part of the 6 billion human beings. Our future depends on the rest of the world. So wherever you live, please make some effort to bring more peaceful family, peaceful community. That's important. So now about religion. So those non-believer now not necessarily listen. Out of curiosity, of course, no problem. Listen. Since mental peace is something important, so all major religious tradition actually taking care about peace of mind. I feel, you see, all major religious tradition, you see, talks importance of compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. All these meant for peace of mind. That's clear. Compassion itself, not necessarily something sacred, but peace of mind is really sacred. So compassion, practice of compassion is the method to bring that. This is my feeling. And faith also, sort of tremendous sort of faith to God, according to those theistic religion, monotheistic religion, it's a tremendous sort of faith to God, and your sort of total submission to God reduce self-centered attitude. I am nothing but God, isn't it? So Buddhist concept, non-soul theory, anattma theory, non-soul theory, same sort of same effect, more or less same effect. Because extreme self-centered attitude brings those destructive emotions. So in order to reduce that, one method, teaching of love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, these things. Another from wisdom side, tremendous faith towards God, that reduces self-centered attitude. So all major religious tradition, why I add this major religious tradition? Some religious tradition, this is not much sort of philosophy or theology way. That's something different. Just worship some deities, some local deities, or like that. That's something different. These are, perhaps we can say, more or less primitive. Primitive. This comes and goes. But those major religious traditions who have some philosophy, philosophical explanation, theology, these things, they remain 1,000 years. In the past, I think at least around 1,000, 2,000 years now. And the future also will remain like that. So some Christian friend, see, they are sort of total sort of submission to God. When they, some sort of, with music, some sort of praising God, tear come. Some my friend. And they practice genuine love and compassion, like Mother Teresa. One example. So really, so this change individual mind. So there is such potential. And among Muslim also. Where is the Muslim? One Muslim here, I was told. Where? Where? Oh, good. I have many Muslim friends. These, you see, among those Muslim practitioners, are really, really wonderful. They told me, if you really believe Allah, then you must extend your love towards entire creature. Similar, the Buddhist way of thinking. And these Muslims told me, any person who claims themselves as Muslim, Islam practitioner, create bloodshed, essentially no longer Muslim. They told me like that. So they, and then I think before 1959, and particularly before 1950, already in Lhasa, I think few hundred Muslims there. These Muslim community, I think last, 4 centuries, they settled in Tibet, come from Ladakh area. So these Muslim, as far as I know, no record of quarrel. Since my childhood, we consider these Muslims, Muslim business people, consider the source of information, what's going on in India. They, as a business, traders. So they go to India and coming some goods from India like that. So they, at that time, no radio. Very, very poor condition, poor quality of one Tibetan newspaper which published in Kalimpong. I love that. Although now we remember, you see, they had Tibetan newspaper, very, very poor quality. But that's the only newspaper. So in any way, so those Muslims who trader, we really consider the source of information, for source of news, and also, you see, they speak typical Lhasa dialect, really beautiful. And I remember, it's one Muslim who repair watch, pocket watch, of course, at that time. So I have, you see, I think, several watch which belongs 13 Dalai Lama. So he kept some of these sort of modern things for his next sort of, was it Dalai Lama, more restless boy. So occasionally you see some watch, you see damage, because I always running here and there like that. So one day I call one Muslim who repair watch, and he advised me very gently, the person who carry pocket watch in their pocket should have a feeling that in my pocket there's one egg. You should feel like that. So that means he hints me, while you carrying that pocket watch, should not go like that way. So that's my personal sort of story. I think some cases, you see, some people, even some media, creates the impression Islam more militant religion. That's totally wrong. Since September 11th, just 1 year after that awful event, I was in Washington, the Washington main cathedral, some prayer meeting. I was there. I told, frankly, due to some behavior of, due to negative behavior of some mischievous Muslim, it cannot represent Muslim as a whole. Some mischievous people among the Buddhists also there, among the Hindus also there, among the Jews also there, among the Christians also there. So that is understandable. But overall sort of Muslim, their practice, real sort of practice is love, tremendous belief to Allah, like that. So I think these days, Ramadan, whole daytime is fasting, like that. I heard, I think this morning or yesterday, BBC, they, so some area, you see, they, tremendous sort of difficulties, I think Pakistan, tremendous difficulties of flood, due to flood, but they carry a Ramadan practice. This is the indication of their serious practice according to their own belief, like that. So that I want to share with our other brothers, sisters of other traditions. So theistic religion also have more or less same potential to bring inner peace. Meantime, every religion too much close one's own community, right? With one's own community, lack of contact with other traditions. Buddhists also like Tibetan. Previously, we close ourselves. So for example, my own case, when I was in Tibet, in Lhasa, as my feeling or my attitude towards Christians, towards Christianity, or some other tradition, we feel, so, that kind of a feeling. But when we come to here, and having opportunity, meeting with variety of people, scientists, non-believer, businessman, politician, and different religious practitioner, then really develop deeper understanding of the value of this tradition. So I noticed this is some Muslim in Malaysia, Muslim in India, Muslim in Indonesia, particularly some area, some Buddhist monument there, and the Hindus there. I think Bali. So because of the environment, these Muslim follower of Quran, worship to Allah, same, but they are thinking much more wider, open. So like my own sort of experience in the past, a little bit narrow, and as a result of meeting with, as a result of more interaction with other believer, a tremendous help. So that is important. So now, among the different major religious traditions, basically two groups. One, theistic religion, believe God, creator. Another group, that's mainly one ancient Indian Hindu tradition, that is Sankhya tradition. Then the same sort of age, contemporary Buddhism and Jainism, 2000, about now 2,600 years ago, you see, happened. More or less it's the same time. Vihara, Mahavir, and the Jainism sort of teacher, and Buddha, Buddhist teacher. So these three traditions, no concept of creator, but law of causality. Everything due to its own causes and conditions. That's quite similar, that of scientific sort of thinking, like Darwin theory, very similar. Jainism and Buddhism, that now more available in India today. The Sangha, there are two. One accept creator, one do not accept creator. But that, I think, maybe very few scholars. Otherwise, you say, I never used to contact such sort of believer. Right? But Jains, many Jains, like that. So these three traditions, mainly now Jainism and Buddhism, no concept of creator, but ultimately self-creation. So between these two differences is Buddhism do not accept theory of soul, or Buddhist selflessness. That does not mean Buddhism do not accept self. Self is there. But when Buddhists say selflessness means no independent soul or self, which all religions, you say, accept the body and mind belongs to that soul. So long soul owns this body and mind, and then a living thing. When soul depart from this body, and that's death. So soul is waiting. I think maybe according to Christianity, and also Muslim, kasade, rogam kasa. Coffin. In the coffin, maybe body dead, but soul maybe remain in the coffin, or more free, go decide that I don't know. That's I don't know. But it looks like that, isn't it? So soul, such something independent from this body. Buddhism, when they say selflessness means that kind of independent soul is not there. Independent self is not there. Self is mere designation on the combination of body and mind. And then body and mind, more grosser level of body and mind, more subtler, and very, very subtle level. There are different levels of body and mind. Body, mainly body. Like now this body, with grosser level of body, which can touch like that. Then more subtler body, some formless sort of beings also there. Like dream body. There are two kinds of dream. Some people have some extraordinary experience. Dream body can separate from the sleeping body. I met my friend. You see, I don't think they are telling me. If they tell that way, there's no reason to grow my respect or something. No. So no reason to tell lie. So some actually, you say, can have that kind of ability. The body sleep here, but subtle dream body can able to separate from this body, like that. So I didn't ask that person whether during that period, whether this body breathing or not, I think most probably, I think breathing still continue. So the subtle body and grosser level body, more or less, more autonomy, like that. Then this very subtle level of body is at the time of death. The grosser level of mind cease. The subtle mind, which independence from this body, still remain continuously. That's from the Buddhist viewpoint. So now here, one time in Amritsar, one Sikhism sort of main area, Golden Temple there, one time one international religious sort of meeting. Many religious representatives used to come. There one Sufi practitioner, you see, he put 3 questions. What is self? Number 1 question. Second question is whether there is beginning or not about that self. The third question, whether is there any end of that self or not? 3 questions. So he mentioned all major religious traditions, you see, answer for 3 questions, these three questions. So it is very true. So I very much impressed, you see, his sort of way of presentation. So since then, I quite often used to mention that. So the first question, what is self? That now 2 divisions come. One, Buddhism, no independent self, no soul. And the rest of all religions accept the soul. That's demarcation. Then, next question, whether there's a beginning or not. According to his religion, when God creates, that's the beginning of soul. Before that, I don't know. Buddhism and Jainism, since law of causality, soul beginningless there. I don't know very detailed or precise about the Jainism's concept, but as far as Buddhism is concerned, since there is no independent self, self is designated on the combination of body and mind and speech. So when we investigate whether there's beginning of kasa, self, we have to investigate the basis of that self, whether there's beginning or not. So the ultimate basis of the self is continuation of mind. So now, in order to answer whether there's beginning or not of the self, you see, we have to investigate whether there's a beginning of mind or not. So mind, as I mentioned earlier, formless. We cannot only experience. You cannot sort of measure mind's sort of thing, certain mind's quality. We have to rely on the subjective experience. No possible to third person sort of investigate, measurement like that. So mind, however, mind is formless, but however, mind also a kind of phenomena which is always changing. So changing, any phenomena which is changing depend on its own causes. Of course, there are 2 causes. One, substantial cause, one as a cooperative survey.
Conditioning.
A conditional cause. So the substance cause is a cause which eventually transform the result, like that. So like because of the clay, something made by clay. So its substantial cause must be clay. Something made by gold, the substance cause must be gold. Because of cooperative. The cooperative cause is because of the different sort of instrument like that. And the heat, and these things are cooperative sort of cause. But substantial cause is the gold. So similar, this body also, the substantial cause is the continuation of the body the ultimate the source from our parents from previous thousand generations the previous parent, and further goes. I think since this whole the solar system had come to exist, I think 5 billion years ago. Then 4 billions of years just is forming this planet. Then about 1 billion ago, then life start. So from that time also, you see, now for example, my own body's substantial continuation at that time already there. So further goes Big Bang take place, because of the subtle level continuation already there. The Big Bang also you see take place because of tremendous energy. So that energy must come from some source. So Big Bang also you see before Big Bang, still the substance, continuation of the substance of today's my body already there. So even physical level, no beginning. One Buddhist literature, wrote by Arya Deva, mentioned generally, you see, any phenomena which is changing or physical, no beginning. There is end, possibility of end, but no beginning. He means that way, the substance, because of substantial cause. Rigyun the Zeyun's concern. Rigyun.
Identical continuity.
Love that.
Substantial continuity and identical continuity.
Oh. So identity, Kasa.
Identical. Rigyu.
Oh. Like you say, my body, human body, there is a beginning. But the substance of this body, substance, no beginning. Clear? So then mind also like that. Its substance cause must be like mind. Form cannot produce formless mind. Formless thing like such mind cannot produce form thing, physical thing. So physical continuation must be physical. The formless mind's only experience, that's a continuation also must be same nature. So that's the reason. Therefore, if mind come from non-mind, that's illogical. At the beginning, mind produced by mindless, then today also you see should happen. External 5 elements, internal 5 elements. External 5 elements, no potential to produce mind. Only internal 5 elements have the potential to produce mind, to act basis of mind, like that. So that's the reason, according to Buddhism, no beginning of soul or life or self. Now the question, third question, whether it is end or not. Within Buddhism, some school of thought, like Buddhahood, like Buddha Shakyamuni, when he reached Mahaparinirvana, his whole mind ceased. His being ceased. Except that school of thought, the whole rest of the Buddhist school of thought have to view the mind no end, because mind, the basic nature of mind is pure. So destructive emotion, because of unrealistic view. So therefore, any unrealistic view always have the opposition because of realistic view there. So long the reality there, in any way, always possible because of the full understanding about the reality. Therefore, unrealistic view always have the opposition sort of opposition force in mental level. So therefore, the wrong views, there is possibility of end. But mind itself, just mere cognitive, that there is no opposing force. So therefore, no reason, no other factor which ending mind. So, because mind always there, no end, therefore self also no end. That's a Buddhist viewpoint, major Buddhist viewpoint, like that. So that's differences. Now important is the philosophical viewpoint, there is big differences. Even among the theistic religion, the Christian, Islam, or between Islam and Christian, the Islam, there's only one Allah, one God. The Christian, Son, Father, Holy Spirit, like that, Trinity. There's differences, like that. But these differences in the philosophical field, the big differences. Now, for example, the Buddhism do not accept creator. So from the viewpoint of theistic religion, Buddhism is nihilism. So like that. In philosophical field, big differences. But if we further investigate, what is the purpose of these different philosophy? Then answer is same. For further sort of strengthening human good quality. That's loving kindness, these things, in order to be happy human being. So use these different philosophy. It is necessary. Even among Buddha's own student, there are many different mental dispositions. Therefore, in the Buddha's teaching, he taught contradictory philosophy. For example, mind-only philosophy and some other philosophy. Contradictory philosophy. Sometimes I usually expressing, half joke with respect to Buddha, that these contradictory philosophy taught by one single Buddha as our teacher, not due to his own confusion in his mind. No. He enlightened. He must know everything. So, or Buddha deliberately taught this contradictory philosophy in order to create more confusion among his followers. No. So therefore, the only answer is, the reasonable answer is, Buddha knows the different mental disposition. Therefore, he taught different philosophy according these different disposition sort of student. There are many stories. When Buddha met some Brahmin, Buddha sometimes appeared as a Brahmin. When one musician, sometimes Buddha appeared like a musician. So according their sort of according the audience or what's it? Need. You see, he appears like that. So therefore, what we learn from this Buddhist tradition, we get clear understanding. 6 billion human beings. There are so many different mental dispositions. Therefore, those theistic religion is highly necessary, like that. So through that way, conclusion is, we must keep faith towards one's own tradition. I am Buddhist. My faith towards Buddhism, but my respect to all major religious traditions. So similarly, one Christian, one Muslim, you must keep your own tradition. Your faith must your own tradition, but must extend respect to all major religious traditions. That's the basis of genuine harmony among the major different religious traditions. That's, I think now, today, we really need that. Like that. So, now time for lunch. Good. Thank you. With the rest of the humanity, rest of the world, isn't it? So, wherever I go, wherever I talk, first level, I consider myself as one of the 6 billion human beings. Entire nearly 7 billion human beings, physically same human being, mentally same human mind, emotionally, also same human emotion. Isn't it? And most important, everyone wants peaceful life, happy life. Nobody wants trouble. So everybody have every right to achieve happy life. Now the question is, usually you see people, you see, in order to achieve happy life, we have to say making also the importance of material value. So it looks our happiness come from material values. Of course, material values are very useful. We need that. But material facility alone will not create inner peace. I think you also have already, I think, some experience. More successful life, more money, maybe greed increasing. With that, jealousy also increasing. Suspicion also increasing. So material value alone sometimes create more anxiety, more stress, more worry. So ultimate source of happy life is our inner value. So therefore, irrespective of whether believer or non-believer, whether believe religion or not, we should pay more attention about our inner value. Now scientists, according to latest scientific findings, it now sort of clear that even good health or healthy body, the healthy mind is very essential. More peaceful mind brings healthy body, because mind calm, peaceful, then our healthy, our body sort of element also, you see, then remain more balanced. So that brings healthy body. And too much stress, too much worry, disturb our body element. That creates certain sort of problems about this body. So therefore, calm mind is very essential. Basic our mental attitude, calm. And then even some disturbances come and will not remain longer. Come, go, come and go. Like immune system. This time, I did Buddhist brothers, sisters mainly come from Singapore and Malaysia, and also some Indonesian, and some from Hong Kong. So mainly the Chinese Buddhist. And also, most of you, of course, speak English. So firstly, I want to ask, is those people who understand English, raise hand. So, everybody. Santa Teride, so and Chirichi, Dijasorve, and the Zordi, and Geri Chedo, any Yishing is that Chatua. Jazaga ngay to injige to temna sam temporary. That's one. And on the Pabazo, then on the Pagana, Juya, Riva, Juya, to share. So, so this is one opportunity to practice my broken English. So you give me this opportunity. Thank you. Then I understand, you see, among the audience, majority are Buddhist, and then also some Christians, some Hindus, one Muslim, I was told, then some non-believers. So that kind of sort of audience, I love that. You see, nearly 7 billion human beings. There are a variety of people. So my main concern is entire nearly 7 billion human beings' well-being. As a Buddhist practitioner, every day we pray for benefit or happiness for entire sentient being. And other sentient being in some other sort of planet, we have no direct contact. But here, in this planet, we have comparatively some connection there. So each person's future depends on the well-being of the over 6 billion human beings. If the rest of the human being happy, peace, less trouble, then we, individual, everybody, get the immense benefit. So even selfish viewpoint, your own interest, very much related. Our body immune system strong, and some virus, some germs come and may not disturb much. It's a basic physical condition, weak. Then small virus create a lot of disturbances, a lot of sort of problems for health. Like that, mentally also, basic mental attitude, calm, peaceful. And then disturbances. So, may not much disturb. So therefore, the calm mind, peaceful mind, is very essential. So I am very happy talking or sharing with you how to develop calm mind. We are not talking about, on that level, as fundamental human level, we are not talking about next life, or not talking heaven, or hell. We are not talking about these things. Simply how to achieve happy life, happy society, happy family. And through that way, a happy world. That's our goal. And the material development is concerned, yes, last, I think more than 2 centuries, I think the science, with help of science and technology, is a material development, much developed and further developing. That's good. Now, another field, how to bring calm mind through training of mind. That, I think, so far we are neglected. So worthwhile to explore that field. Challenge me. So then, as a Buddhist, I am a Buddhist monk. So here, the majority are Buddhist, and mainly they follow of the Chinese Buddhist tradition. So historically, Buddhism from India reached mainland China. Then Buddhism reached Tibet, I think at least 300-400 years after that. So therefore, you are senior student of Buddha. We are junior. So logically, junior student must respect senior student. And I often see teasing a senior student. As far as knowledge is concerned, junior students' knowledge not bad. I think it's Tibetan tradition. There is real rigorous study about Buddha Dharma. Usually, in order to become scholar, it took 20-30 years for study. Very rigorous. And also the method for study, also through debate, dialectical sort of debate. So that very helpful to get precise meaning. Of course, my own sort of knowledge compared these top scholars among Tibetan, of Tibetan, of course, my knowledge is very limited. Even in my own case, I think at least 13 years I study, and those root texts I learn by heart, and then get commentary, or explanation according to these different commentary. Mainly those writing wrote by Nalanda master, like Longsu Pusa, as top master of Nalanda tradition. Like that. So I think now after 51 years meeting or having the opportunity meeting with a variety of people, and including Buddhist brothers, sisters from different Buddhist country, and having sort of discussion, sharing each other sort of experience, knowledge, and it became quite clear that Tibetan knowledge is quite good, because rigorous study. And also in Tibetan tradition, the emphasis about logic very much there. So whereas in Pali tradition and Chinese tradition seems, I think, less logics, like Dignak. I don't know this Chinese word. Dignak kasure. Dignak. Dignak and Dharmakirti. These two Nalanda masters, really top logician. And then also the person who who introduced Buddhism in Tibet, I think 8th century and in the beginning of 19th century, the Shantarakshita. He himself, great philosopher and a great logician. So therefore, I think in Tibetan tradition, they very much emphasize importance of study and through logical way, sort of debate like that, as I mentioned earlier, like that. So in any way, I'm very happy. You see, again, once more, you see, talk or share. Mainly, it's a Buddhist, Buddhist tradition, like that. Sanje Yonten Same Yo, Shuyi, Ti, Naba Meba Same Yo, Namda Yon La